presentations on the softshell clam, also known by its scientific name Maya arenaria. It is in the kingdom of Animalia in the phylum of Mollusca, and it is in the species of Maya arenaria, which is also its scientific name. This is a picture of the kingdom tree. It shows all the different kingdoms: archaea, bacteria, protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia, and a cladogram showing its different characteristics that differentiates each of them. The animalia has a cell membrane, a nucleus, a peptoglycan wall, and it's a multicellular organism, and it's a mouth eater. It is most similar to the plantae and fungi group. The only differences between the animalia and the plantae group is that the plantae has a cellulose cell wall and the fungi has a chitin cell wall. So this is a phylum tree, and it shows the different phylums within the kingdom of Animalia. And the Molluscus phylum, which the soft-shell clams are located, is right here. So the Molluscus phylum has a chanoflagellate ancestor, multicellularity, tissues, bilateral symmetry, 3-tissue layer, protozoan development, and true column. It is similar to the Annelida phylum, the Arthrophoda phylum, the Onychophora phylum, and the Tardigrada phylum. The Annelida phylum is basically the phylum for ringworms. The Arthropoda phylum is the phylum for insects, spiders, and crustaceans, which are hard-shell, deep-sea creatures such as lobsters and crabs. And the Onychophora phylum is a phylum of animals with small eyes and intestines with many, many feet, like the centipede. And the Tardigrada phylum, which is a phylum for a creature named the tardigrade, which has it's a microscopic creature with 8 legs and a segmented body. The only difference between the Mollusca and these phylums are that those phylums have a segmented body and the Mollusca does not. The reproductive adaptations of the soft-shell clams are really unique. They have 2 major species. There is the ones in the European waters that reproduce in the summer months, and there's the others located all around the world, such as America and Asia. And these reproduce in spring or late summer when the temperature is around like 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. It has external fertilization, so the siphons from the clams will extend to the surface of the sand, and their sperm and eggs will meet and fertilize, producing the larvae of the new clams. And they have a high quantity, which means that they produce lots and lots of clams at a time. An average female produces about 100,000 to millions of clams in one fertilization. And the larvae is usually alive for 2 to 3 weeks until it turns into an actual clam. And the clam will continue to grow until it's able to become mature and fertilize later. It has a high mortality rate of 90% within the first year, so that's why it's so important for a female to produce so many larvae in one reproduction cycle. So this is basically a picture of the reproduction cycle of a soft-shell clam. So this is a picture of the siphons, and you can see that they extend all the way to the surface of the sand, and that the egg and sperm will multiply and create the larvae, and the clams will eventually become mature and be able to fertilize their own new clams. The physical adaptations of the soft-shell clams. So the siphons mentioned earlier in the reproductive cycle, they also serve another purpose. They are the entranceway of the phytoplanktons and the oxygen that the clam needs. When the clam needs more nutrients, it will suck in water from the ocean, and as well as oxygen and phytoplanktons. It will go into the gills, and the gills will extract the oxygen and to extract the phytoplanktons to go to the digestive system. The remaining water and waste will exit through the siphon again. That's why there's 2 passages. One is an exocurrent siphon and an incurrent siphon. There's also the foot of the soft-shell clams, which will come out if the clam needs to move in case of a predator coming at it or they're disturbed by something. And the foot retractors are what functions as a motor for the foot. And the adductor muscles, which are located here and here, are activated when the clam needs to shut close, and it will tell the clam to close its shell in case if a predator comes or when it's disturbed. And this line over here is called the paleo line. This paleo line separates the tissue, the soft tissue inside the clam, from the outer shell. And here is where the head is located. And this mantle, which is this area, is what forms the outer shell. So this shows the distribution of soft-shell clams around the world. You can see these yellow dots in this area are where the soft-shell clams are located around the world. And it is a native species around the northern Alaskan area, and it is an invasive species in the European area. And you can see that there's so many yellow dots all around the world, showing that the soft-shell clams are really a dominant species throughout the world and has spread evenly throughout the world. So the fossil records. The soft-shell clams evolved in the Miocene era. It originally evolved in Japan, and it moved to the Northeast Pacific Ocean and then to the Northwest Atlantic Ocean, where it eventually died out in the Paleocenic epoch, in an extinction that happened when the Ice Age ended. In the New Age, however, they originally started at the European area and moved to the Black Sea and the Mediterranean area, and eventually towards Europe, and eventually towards North America and to Alaska eventually. This is a picture of a shell of a really old soft-shell clam. You can see that it has several layers. The more layers a clam has, the longer it has lived. And this is a picture of a rock formed in the past, and you can see that there's several soft-shell clams in the fossils. Soft-shell clams have been around for millions of years. The oldest one dating back to about 12 million years old, and we have fossil records from the 1500s of these clams. So they have gone through a lot of evolution and are an important part of the studies of biology and some bibliography.